Well, thank you. He has introduced me. My name is Cale Wilcox. I'm from Richardson, Texas, which I walk out this way, and I'm in Dallas, Garland. I'm right there. And I started collecting glass when I was probably 21. I was enamored with the glass. I started. Just a little bit back history how I got started is I had started collecting the Indiana grape like I think most everybody does. And my grandmother was on the historical park board for Farmers Branch, and she also was on the antique committee where they went around and got antiques for the different homes they had. And she gave me my first two real old pieces of carnival glass and said, if you're going to collect glass or antiques, you need to collect the real thing. And so that really started the obsession. And then I had met or started looking on eBay. I really learned a lot of information from eBay. I didn't want to join any clubs or do any of that until I had more information. I wanted to come in knowing some information. So I was kind of a closet collector for probably about 4 or 5 years before I really got into the clubs. Even Texas, which is a mile from my house where we have the convention, it took me a while to go over there. But I had went to Richardson Claire's house, and I can still remember the piece of glass he had on eBay. It was a green Greek key tumbler. And I contacted him and went to his house and was floored when I walked in. I didn't want anything to do with marigold, and then I saw beautiful marigold. And so that really started the huge obsession with carnival glass. And so fast forward to now, I do love yellow iridescence. And I guess it started, my first convention I went to was Texas in '06, and then I came to Hoga in '06, and Pete and Paula were selling their collection. And John Muehlbauer was in a room, and we all know he had his favorite color happened to be yellow as well. So I saw yellow, and I really fell in love with it. And I have had a yellow car. I've got a yellow motorcycle. So there's yellow on me usually. So yes, I do like yellow. It's one of my favorite colors. But I think on carnival glass, it really makes the piece pop, no matter what color it is. I know it's kind of hard to tell up here right now, but if you get up when we're done with the talk and you get up and look at the glass, there's yellow on every piece of this glass. So that's really the first thing I look for. When I collect, I really like a lot of plates. I like plates, and but I've trying to get into a little diversify a little bit. So that is how my obsession with yellow began. So let's see, what do we want to talk about first? I went to Richard's, this plate, Rochot variant is Renninger Blue. We all know that Renninger Blue can be very, very picky with iridescence. And I got this from Gary Lickfer, and that actually happened to be, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Dale Matheny's plate. And so I'm very honored to have that plate. So I think it's very beautiful. I think the colors just pop on it. And I buy a lot of stuff from Mr. Lickfer over here. He knows what I like. I guess the really very first piece of glass that I got that really had yellow was the Grape Leaves by Northwood. And if you look at this thing, I mean, it's just yellow as can be. It was my first and only auction I went to at Mickey Reichel's in Boonville, and I saw that piece and I just had to have it. And I actually went up against another Texas collector, Walt Robinson, in Austin, and we kind of battled it out for a little bit, but he backed off and let me have it. So I was very thankful. And then, let's see. We'll just start and go this way. It'll be easier. This piece here, I got the bowl first. I went over to Richard's house, and we do a lot of bargaining and bartering, and I'll take glass over there, we'll swap and trade. Well, he had come into a collection, and he had the Persian Garden fruit bowl top. It is purple. I think it's fabulous. And then you look at the back. It's just Dugan at its finest. I really like Dugan a lot. It's probably my favorite maker when they were on. I mean, their iridescence is just, I don't know. For me, for some reason, Dugan is very popular. I can thank Dorothy Morgan for helping me get into Dugan. So, and the base, this is actually the second or third base. I have to thank Steve Davis, because he called me and he said, have you seen on eBay there's a fruit bowl base and it's really pretty. And I got on there and it was about to go off and it was prettier than the one I had, so I was able to get it, and it is really a perfect match. So I actually have that and the marigold one at home, and it's just totally yellow. And then the white is totally yellow. And I have to thank Janet Tate for that. She got me the base because I didn't have the base. She sold me the base for that, and it's a perfect match. So I do a lot of eBay shopping. I'm not as on there as much as I used to be. It's just, I don't know. It's just I'm kind of getting a little bored with it, I guess. But I was on there, and this plate came up. It was out of eBay Australia. Sometimes I just pick up that, and it didn't cross over. And it is actually stippled three fruits, ice blue, but with yellow iridescence pretty much all over the plate. Pretty rare and hard to find. And I know I've talked to several people, and Jim said most of them are kind of silvery and stuff like that. So very happy to find that. The peach opal, I like peacock and grape. I got this at Hoga this year out of a room sale, and I just thought it was really, really pretty for peach opal. It's dark, but it really has a lot of good color and a lot of highlights of yellow and blue. It just really, in my opinion, you don't see a lot on peach opal. And then, let's see, I really like Hearts and Flowers. It's another one of my favorite patterns. We've got the ice blue one up here, and I do believe this came from Gary Lickfer, if I'm correct. But I think for ice blue and Hearts and Flowers, it's pretty phenomenal. You know, it's amazing. I really like pastels, but it's really funny I find in pastels is, we all know Northwood made the most pastels, but I would say 1 in 5 or 6 are really pretty. Most of them are pretty silvery or gold, mostly gold. But then you get into Fenton, who made very few pastels, and most of them are really pretty. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Dorothy and Emmett just got a really pretty leaf chain ice green that's got a lot of yellow. Made me jealous, but that's all right. They've done some good things for me too. Wishbone and spades again. I have this in chop plate, the ruffle bowl, and the small 6-inch. Again, I think the yellow and all the wishbones are blue. I think it just really pops. So just a really neat, phenomenal piece. I called, this was in a Southern California auction, Dorothy, probably about 5 years ago. And I wasn't going to bid on anything, and I called Dorothy, and I'm like, Dorothy, what does that wishbone of spades look like? And she goes, it's nice. I said, would you buy it? She said, yes. I said, well, let's bid on it. Call me. I trust Dorothy and Emmett. They have been a really good mentor for me over the years. Not only a mentor, but they're really good friends. And again, with this hobby, you know, it's not just about the glass. It's about the friendships we make. There's so many nice and wonderful people. So, Greek key, one of my favorite patterns. So simple, but I think it makes such a beautiful statement, very elegant. It doesn't need anything really with it. And I had been wanting a blue one for a long time, and the right blue ones just don't come up. They're usually dead on one side, not very pretty. And this one came out of Southern California through Gary. It's probably one of my favorite pieces. It will be, I plan to sell my glass in 2023, and you're probably going to have to, there's several pieces you're going to have to rip out of my hands, but it'll have to happen. So then we have the Stag and Holly chop plate. I just got really lucky with this thing. Again, on eBay. I had planned on bidding on the one, oh goodness, what's her name? Dawn, you bought it. You bought theirs. Jeannie Hostetler. And I really wanted their Stag and Holly. Well, I happened to be staying with my mom. She had just had knee surgery. And so I was out there helping with my mom and my dad. I'm in the medical field, so when they need me, I go out there. So I was sitting in the car just looking on eBay. My dad ran into the bank for something, and this popped up as a buy it now. Out of Denver, Arnie, and the price was just, I couldn't believe it, and I bought it, and it came. This thing is just, I think it's just probably, I mean, we're all, I think our glass is always the prettiest, but this thing is phenomenal. It looks like they hand, Yes. I feel like they hand treated it, and it's just a phenomenal plate. Then 2 years ago at Hoga, I bought a couple pieces from Kathy and Galen. I like Hattie. I've got all the Hattie chop plates in all the colors. Again, the yellow and blue iridescence just caught my eye. Can y'all see back there? And when we get done, y'all, of course, people can come up and look. But it is amber. So, again, I just look for iridescence and yellow, and if it talks to me, I know I want it. So, on to the 10 mums. This I saw on one of Jim's Seeks. It was a couple of years ago, and I called him and I said, Jim, what about that 10 mums? And he says, it's outstanding. And of course, I saw the yellow and really liked it, and decided to go for it and paid a pretty good price for it, but it's just a phenomenal bowl, especially for 10 mums, so really, really do like it. I went to Brian and James' house, it was last August, and sitting in their cabinet was this bowl, Concord, 3-in-1, amethyst, and I said, Brian, I can't leave without this bowl. I think I said it probably 20 times, maybe. And I left with the bowl, and you can see why I liked it. This actually, he purchased it from Kathy and Galen at their auction 2 years ago at Hoga. So, blue grapes, the yellow, it's a yellowy gold, but it's still yellow enough for me. There's a big difference for me between yellow and gold. I like yellow, not a whole lot of gold. This plate is an ice green embroidered mum's plate. This was on Seek's online auction. This was 2 years ago. We were having an ice storm going on at our house, and my employees were calling me, freaking out. I work in a hospital and they think it shuts down. Well, we don't shut down. And so between that and spending an hour going and finding somebody on this plate, but it is just amazing. It's iridized front and back and just all kinds of beautiful yellow. Isn't that right, Gary? I know you like it.
Love it.
It's one of my favorite plates. I love this pattern. And what's really interesting with this plate, ice green usually has a lot of bubbles. And this one does not have that many bubbles. I mean, maybe we can't see it because of the iridescence, but really you look at it and it doesn't have that many bubbles. The fish scale and beads. This was actually on eBay. Is Mordini in here? No. It was Tom's, and it was on eBay, and I thought the thing was just spectacular. I mean, just phenomenal. And so I contacted him, and we made a deal, and it came, and I really almost wet my pants when I saw it, because I just think it is so pretty. Again, Dugan. So then we start into my daisy webs, which I love daisy web, and it started with Virgil. And I tried to get out of the Texas auction 2 years ago. He had a daisy web, so I wasn't able to get it. My first one came. This was from Gary Lickfer, and so this is the standard hat shape daisy web. A lot of yellow, really pretty. Then I got a call from Mordini. And he called me and he said, I've got just an outstanding daisy web, and I know you like daisy web, and it's got lemon lime yellow iridescence. And he sent me a picture, and we talked about price, and then him and y'all found it for dirt cheap. Don't even get me going on that one. So, but anyway, it's still beautiful. I don't care how much I had to pay for it. I would have. And then my really good friends Dorothy and Emmett came to Hoga this year, and they gave me a package or a diaper. Us and diapers. We love our diapers. So she handed me this, and I opened it up, and it was her daisy web. And I remember when Dorothy bought this at a Texas convention from the Hamiltons, I remember how happy she was when she got this. And she brought it to me and sold it to me, and I just absolutely love this piece. And again, Dugan, yellow, just neat little pieces, but they're hard to find. So, more into pastels here. This is, of course, grape and cable, stippled pie crust. But again, Northwood did a really good job on this one. It's really, really coated in yellow all throughout the piece. One of a really favorite piece from Gary Lickford. We got a theme going on here. Huh? And I was at Richard's a couple months ago, and he had a good luck plate that he wouldn't sell. And then I came back and bought some other things, and he said, "Oh, I have another good luck plate." And he said, he showed it to me, and it was just as pretty as the other one, but again, the yellow iridescence just caught my eye, and I said, yes, I want it. So we came to an agreement. So I want to stay on time here because I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. Captive Rose, another one of my favorite patterns. I have all the colors Finally got a pretty amethyst from Gary. But this came out of the Becker Myers collection that they sold at Hoga a couple of years ago. I'll never get my money back from this plate, but it doesn't matter because I love it so much. And not only is it dark, but it's dark yellow. It's all different kind of colors. So yes, I'm beating a dead horse about yellow. Then I'm good friends with Liz Watley, and she was up on the East Coast pretty much all summer, and she sends me a picture because she saw Gary, and they send me a picture of this, and they're like, "What do you think about this? What do y'all think about this?" Pretty nice. I mean, I think it's almost emerald, you know. So it's beautiful. A lot of yellow and blue and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I want it. So got that. I have several pieces of apple blossom twigs because it seems like every one I find is beautiful, but there's a lot of ugly ones out there. This was on eBay, and just look at that. I mean, it is a screamer. I mean, the high points, the center flower is just, I think it's just a beautiful piece. And so I bought this, and what really stands and strikes me is the yellow on the background against the blue. It really makes it pop. So again, a very good find on eBay. So I do eBay, like I said, but not near as much anymore. Ice green, again, Northwood, I think at one of its finest. I don't think it's ice green. I would call that more lime. It's almost on the lime side. It wants to be lime, it wants to be ice green. But I don't care because I like the yellow on it. So when I first started collecting, y'all are going to laugh. I did not like Rose Show. I did not like Poppy Show. And I did not like Aqua Opal. Is that not blasphemy? So I finally came around to my senses and have realized what wonderful patterns they are. And so. Then we've got the little Dugan Amaryllis plate. These things are hard to come by pretty. It usually is that one side is pretty and the other is dead. But again, this is the Dugan that I like, that typical almost Favrine type, iridescent type on it. I wish this flower right here was just a little bit more, but of course that's me being picky. Talking about my grandmother, there was an antique mall that opened up near her home. This piece is getting lost up there. That's why I'm picking it up too. Well, I'm picking up everything, sorry. This Oriental Poppy tumbler. I just think it's phenomenal. And it's just an amazing piece. And I had to pay $100 for it, and I just was like, oh my God, you know, I was new in my collecting. But it reminds me a lot of my grandmother because it was one of the times that, probably the last time she was able to get out and really do antiquing with us, and we found this. And Cecil Whitley saw it and actually wanted to purchase it, and I felt very honored. But I said, I really thank you, but I'm going to keep it. So this is actually a pretty new acquisition. I've been wanting a Aqua Opal Three Fruits plate, but I haven't found the right one. And what's neat about this one, it has a history that I really like. It was Floyd Whitley's, then Pete bought it, and then Gary bought it. Pete first, then Floyd. Okay, I got it backwards. But anyway, now it's back in Texas, and again, you don't see a lot of yellow on Aqua Opal like this, in my opinion. So I really like this plate. And plus, now that it's back in Texas again, instead of California. Roundup. I had a friend that I met through Texas. Her name was Carla. She was collecting for a while. I was finding a lot of stuff for her on eBay and buying, and she got this and came to my house, and she came and picked it up, and she took it home, and about 3 months later, she called me. Well, she would burn my phone up all the time, and she goes, I don't know if I really like that. I think I'm going to get rid of it. She goes, do you want to buy it? I said, well, how much do you want? Oh, what, I paid for it? I said, oh, yeah, I'll take it. So Roundup is one of my favorite patterns, and I just think that's a phenomenal piece. That is going to be probably one of the hardest pieces I have to let go of in my collection. Okay, they made a ton of aqua opal peacocks. Don't we know there's got to be one spun down into a plate? They could not have made so many and didn't make a plate out of one. Can you not imagine that there's not one out there? But this came out of the Beckermeyer collection as well. I was actually sitting with Richard, and Richard bought it. And it's one of those things that we've all done it. We didn't bid on something, and he got it. And I said, I need to buy that. He actually had two things. So I wound up buying this. I just love the yellow on it, and I just love it. So. Okay, good. We're doing well. Peacock tail by Fenton. Don't see these plates that much. And I don't think you really see them this nice. And it's a dark marigold, but it has a yellow overlay, in my opinion, that's a little different. The center's a little washed out, but the rest of the plate, I think, makes up for it. So really like this plate. Then we've got the marigold, peacocks on the fence. Again, it's pastel, lots of yellow. The birds are blue. Just a really good example of a nice pastel that you can see doesn't have to be in the exact perfect spot to still be able to see it and enjoy it. It kind of glows a little bit. And then we've got another peacocks on the fence in ice green. They made a ton of ice green plates. You do not see a lot of the bowls, and this one is it's got quite a bit of yellow, but overall the birds and everything are it's pretty well iridized for ice green, for especially not many bowls that were out there. Then another one of my favorite Dugan patterns is Fanciful. This is Amethyst. I got the opportunity to buy this from Dorothy and Emmett at their sale at Hoga, and I think she still regrets every time she sees this, but love it. It's beautiful. Dugan at its finest. We all know that Dorothy and Emmett have great taste in carnival glass, and they're getting ready to sell, as probably all y'all know. They've getting ready to sell some pieces throughout next year. So great opportunity to buy some beautiful glass. My mom and I were just there about a month ago, and they've got some just truly outstanding pieces. Leaf and beads, tri-corner. This came out of Hoga this year. It was Christina's. Saw this, and I said I have to have it. It just talked to me. I love the way, I don't know, I just love it. I think it's just a beautiful piece of glass. Then, this plate has a lot of special meaning to me. This person I don't get to see them very much. They're not in the circuit that much anymore. And when I found out she was going to be here this week, I was very, very happy. This came out of the Poucher sale, the special sale at in Hoga, not Hoga, but a Hoga event at Kansas City in September. And ice blue, just coated with yellow. And I feel it's like her. It's very special because she's like a rose too to me. She is a wonderful, wonderful person. And I know everybody here knows the difference between Roadshow and Roadshow variant. You know, y'all are all very experienced collectors. So for me, this is more about my glass and what I love and like. I enjoy going to Air Capital. It's a fun club. It's small, but we have a good time there. And I like the way that Jim brings the glass. Everybody's sitting in a room bidding, and hooping and hollering, and somebody will say, "Oh God, who just outbid me?" And you know, it's kind of fun. And so got this piece there this past October. Pansy pickle dish. Oh, were y'all trying to go for it? Okay. So I tried to get the plate too, but I didn't get the plate. So well, that was I think windmill, but just very, very pretty example. You know, imperial at its finest with iridescence, but a lot of yellowy blue-green. I just got this in a box from Jim. I had bought several things, and we were just waiting for them to come. This is a really funny story. Dorothy, this is Lattice Points. Remember, we had that huge thing at her house. She has a plate. Well, it's a ruffled bowl. And this one doesn't have it, but most of them have the daisy in the middle with the points coming up. And we knew it was Dugan, but we could not figure out the pattern because most of them are swung up into the vase. So we finally figured out what it was, you know. Here's two really funny, popular Dugan collectors, and we can't even identify what that little plate was, or ruffled bowl was. So it's kind of funny. This is, of course, heavy grape chop plate in white. Not a lot out there. Really has that whole stretch iridescent. You feel it. It's got the onion feel on it, all that. And this was Marie Capps. Was talking with Marie probably about 3 years ago at Hoga. And she had it sitting there, and see, you can really see the yellow in the back. And was sitting there, and she didn't want to take it home, and she made me a price that I just could not resist. And I've got several pieces of hers, and it's just a really, really neat example. Yes, sir?
Where are the 7-inch plates? In white.
I don't know. Do you have one?
No, I'm looking for one.
You're looking for one? Well, I don't know how many are, there's not them, how many of these are?
That's Russell. Not very many. Does it have a hole in it?
No, it does not have a hole.
Like 3 without the hole.
Okay, yeah, it does not have the hole.
Okay.
So 3. So again, it's almost it's the stretch effect. It's the whole. It feels just like Celeste or anything like that.
But that hole was common and not unusual that we used to see because supposedly a stupid collector drilled holes in them so he could hang them up. You remember that? Southern California.
Bill Carroll bought them all. Who? Bill Carroll.
Yeah, Bill would buy that.
Gotta get a drink. Sorry.
Yeah, California. It's common to see a hole, some idiot drilled a hole so he could hang them up. Yeah, we saw them in Southern California in the 60s and 70s.
So we'll continue on. I've got about 15 minutes left, and I am going to finish. Cobblestone. I just recently got that off eBay. I just think it's a really a fine example of it. I mean, they're all pretty, but I like the way it's kind of concentric and stuff like that. This plate's a funny story. It's Concord. Gary Lickford had brought it to a Texas convention 2-3 years ago, and Dorothy walked in and looked at something else, and her hand was about to go to it, and I went, and it was gone, and I said, "I'll take that." I was surprised she didn't slap me, but so love the plate. I love Concord. You know, it's I'm not a big grape and cable collector. I do have some, but I prefer the Concord. I think the webbing and the background really makes it a neater effect. Millersburg Little Stars, neat example. Of course, satin. Most of their stuff is radium, but I prefer a satin finish most of the time. And this one really caught my eye just because the yellow, it had so much yellow on it. This bowl just came as well. Orange tree, very common, you know, nothing outrageous about it, you know, neat pattern, there's a ton of it, but wonderful pastel, just yellow and purpley blue, lavender, no. But I really like this, I thought it was a neat piece. The next piece, the Poppy Show. Harder to find in the bowl, of course, than the plate. There's more plates. This actually came out of the very first online auction that Seek did at Air Capital. Had no interest in it until I saw it. I was like, wow, I've got to have that. So everybody's bidding on stuff, and I'm like slipped away, tucked away, you know, bidding on this thing, and got it. And I just think it's a really, really neat example of Poppy Show. Do we have Dragon and Lotus collectors? Yeah, somebody was saying Dragon. Okay. I like Dragon and Lotus too, and I don't have a lot of it. But when I saw this piece, I got this from Richard. I saw that thing and fell in love with it. I mean, just beautiful marigold, yellow all over it. I just think it's a super, super neat piece. And love it. Imperial grape. You know, again, Imperial at its finest. They knew how to do purple, my goodness. But again, the yellow around. Oh, thank you. We don't need it to fly to the floor. Thank you. And, you know, these are just neat plates. I really like it. Of course, Gary Lickford, of course. He's earned a lot of money from me.
You got him on your payroll, Kate?
Lord, I have to have 2 jobs to keep this habit up. You know, I work in the medical field and manage the neuroscience department at Children's in Dallas. And my specialty is EEG and epilepsy. And I do that, and then I read EEGs for an outside company for physicians. So that's where a lot of my carnival glass money comes from, because I have to feed this habit. And I meant to say, we're at a 10-step meeting for carnival addicts, you know. Who here is a carnival glass addict? I mean, who? Yeah, exactly. So, yes, I do sometimes, but I'm blessed. But you know, you do get tired sometimes. So, again, Imperial Smoke. I love shell and sand. I left the shell and sand at home. I decided to bring the smoke. I do have a purple shell and sand from Gary Lickford. So this one. I think I got this one online. I sold my first small collection, probably, oh my goodness, 8 or 9 years ago, and there was some pieces in it. It sold here at ICGA, and it also had stuff in it from Rick Stockhill. And Rhoda did that sale, and I wanted this piece. It was Rick Stockhill's, and I think it's probably one of the prettiest even purple hearts and flowers you'll ever find. And I could be wrong, but I like it. It's mine. I can say it's the best. Another peacock's bowl. We can never have enough peacocks in this hobby. So I've had this peacock a long time. Again, the yellow iridescence on it just really spoke to me, and just really a neat, pretty piece of glass. The Peacock and Urn Master. I got this out of Texas about 3 years ago, and I felt really bad because this gentleman came in with his probably 12, 13, 14-year-old son, and this is the only thing they came for. And I really wanted it too, and of course I got it, but I felt bad because here was a young collector, and I probably really should have let him win because, we want to get people into the field, not in the field, God, I'm speaking work now, get into the hobby, but I just couldn't let it go because the yellow iridescence and it's pastel. I love pastels. I've never seen him come back. Oh. Is who still collecting?
How could you shoot that to a 14-year-old?
Girl, you would do it too. Okay. Homestead chop plate. Of course, again, imperial at its finest, but the mold work on it it's a very good example with their mold work, and I love all the yellow highlights on it. So actually got this offline on eBay, so was very happy when it came. And then last but not least, there's one more piece after this. There's been a lot of pretty amazing auctions this year, and I think we have to remember that if it wasn't us, the collectors who love the glass so much, that we wouldn't have the wonderful auctioneers that are out there. And I want to thank not only the auctioneers, but really us as collectors. We spend a lot of money in this. We do a lot of looking and finding. And then at the end of the day, when we know it's time to go, we call the auctioneer that we trust, and we let them have our glass to sell. And so I want to thank you as collectors and the great professional auctioneers that are out there. And everybody has their preferences, but I think this year that we all have to remember it's about the collectors. And we've lost two really good collectors this year and the year before. And I got the opportunity to buy this from Karen Engel about 4 years ago at Hoga. She had brought it in her room. It was when she came and did her talk. And she had it sitting there, and I saw a price on it. I'm like, no, there's no way that can be that. Well, I missed a zero. Finally I kept stalking the room because she was never in there. And finally she came back, and I went in there and I said, oh, damn, there's another zero to that. So she had two of them, and she was selling one. She said she had bought one because she thought it was an upgrade. How many of us have done that? They're never an upgrade. They're always the same. So I got the opportunity to buy this. I didn't buy it that day. I contacted her about a month later because I just kept thinking about the piece. And we worked out a deal. And unfortunately, I was not able to get anything out of her sale last month, but I still have a piece, and it means a lot to me. So, anyway, last but not least, how many people buy off eBay? Not much anymore. Well, from time to time, we do things and we think, there's potential there. So I saw this, it came up as a buy it now. Pretty ugly. Pretty ugly good luck, don't you think? But they listed it as a blue-green base. And this picture's a little bit worse because I've taken it from theirs. And you can see it's pretty yuck. Well, I got the piece and opened up the box. And first of all, when you open up the box and you get that awful smell. And so got it, started cleaning on it. Well, when I sprayed it with what I cleaned with, all it was black. I mean, it was just solid black. I don't think it has ever been cleaned since it came from the factory. I don't know. I think it still had factory soot on it. So I cleaned it. It is Renninger blue. It is perfect. And that's what it cleaned up to. When I looked at it on eBay, I thought, there's some yellow there. I don't think they know what they don't know what they have. And I thought, for the price, because it was a buy it now and it was very inexpensive, I thought, hey, it's Renninger blue at least. We know I know I can get my money out of it if I don't like it. But God, who wouldn't like that? I mean, most Renninger blue is not pretty. It just didn't take the iridescence very well. But anybody seen a prettier one? I haven't posted this online because I was waiting. I know Ron's looking and they're like, you haven't posted that on Facebook, show and tell. And I waited till this because I wanted everybody to see it at the talk. So anyway, that is the end of my talk. Did I miss a piece? Oh, hearts and flowers. I'm sorry. I missed two? Oh, the picture over there, yes. And the plaid, yeah, God. Well, I've got 5 minutes, so I'm on anyway. I saw this, it actually came out of Lloyd Ward's room 2 years ago at Hoga. Again, I like hearts and flowers, and I just love the blue against, I just think it's really pretty. We all know that hearts and flowers is one that it's either hit or miss. So, and I thought this was a knockout of the park. Funny story about this plaid bowl. It's dark. Plaid is not very common, but most marigold ones pretty washed out. If you get up to it, there is some yellow in it. I kind of wanted to bring it just because it was a new find and stuff like that. But there is some yellow to it. But again, pretty example. Funny story behind that is, I'm going to make that one short, is I left a flint frog there in lavender like an idiot because I didn't think it was old, and then had a friend tell me that, yes, indeed, they came in lavender and not purple, and then had a friend show up there Thursday morning to pick it up, and it was still there. So, but anyway, I guess I was so enamored with that, I left a lavender frog at the mall. So I got this year from Lickford. Ice blue, very beautiful iridescence. But I have really noticed that when you look at these, and I've looked at Tarkingtons too, and I've looked at a white one, they're pretty much iridized the same. They pretty much have the same iridescence, it seems like. It's kind of a yellowy green, and it looks like it was more applied to the inside. So Yeah, oh yeah, and this one used to be Stacy's, and he's got. I was going to have a knockdown drag out with Dolores Sage because she outbid me on the ice green one at Hoga this year, but I know where there's another, and I know he'll eventually let go of it, Lickfer. So, you're welcome. Thank you. That's it.